I've been using the Galaxy S24 since it came out 6 months ago, and I'm telling you guys, I've done everything with this phone, from taking videos, photos, emailing, banking, scrolling social media. I've done everything. So it's been 6 months. I wanted to take the time to re-review the phone, seeing whether you should still be buying it or whether you should just be waiting for the S25. Let's get straight into the video. The design of the S24 definitely took some pages out of Apple's books when it comes to the flattened edges. And to be honest, it may not be as comfortable as the S23 was, but it's definitely the right move just in terms of aesthetics and stuff. It sure does look good in the look of things. Like, I've got the white color here, and it's definitely different from what I normally get, because I'm normally somebody who gets like the darker version of colors like this. This is the graphite on the 13 Pro, or I would get like a black or a dark blue. But yeah, I tried the white, or it's called marble gray, but really it should just be called marble white. But yeah, I tried this color this time, and honestly, I'm not sad about it. I'm not upset about it. It looks really nice. We also have the matte finish at the back of the phone, made of glass front and back. And something surprising, I found out that the phone is actually refreshingly light compared to other phones at the same price range and other phones of the same size. Like, if you compare an iPhone of the same size, the S24 just feels a bit lighter. I don't know if it is actually dimensionally like lighter, but it definitely feels lighter. You don't get fingerprints at the back either because of the matte finish. However, I'm just going to warn you guys right now that the phone does get pretty slippery with the matte finish. I've actually dropped it a couple of times. Like, don't tell my mom. But yeah, I've dropped it. It hasn't had any like physical damage or anything. But if I was to recommend a case, the official cases honestly aren't that bad. So yeah, overall feels really nice in the hand. The only con being that it's slippery, but then again, what can you expect from a matte glass phone? Now, the display on the S24 is a real highlight, both in one way that it's worse than the other S24 Plus and Ultra, and in other ways how it's just a really, really good panel. Now, when I say worse, I don't mean something that would deter you from buying the phone. What I'm saying is that basically the S24 has a 1080p display versus the S24 Plus and Ultra having a 1440p display. Now, this might seem like a bummer, like why couldn't they just have the same display on both, like all phones? However, it's really not that deep, because you have to think about the fact the S24 has a 6.2-inch display. At the smaller size, it's not really easy to notice the difference between 1080p and 1440p. And you have the added benefit that 1080p will save you that little bit of extra battery. If it is a bigger phone like the 24 Plus and 24 Ultra, then the bigger screen you'll be able to see pixels much more easily, which is why they gave you that option for 1440p. However, in my opinion, even 1440p is not like a needed feature. I could be perfectly fine with 1080p. It's just something for my 1440p eyes to get used to. But yeah, unless you're really like staring into the display, you won't be able to tell that the S24 has a slower resolution display than the 24 Plus and 24 Ultra, unless you're like really looking into it. Now, this display is honestly really, really good. We still have the same peak brightness as the S24 Ultra, being 2600 nits. The uniform bezels is also just something really, really underrated, which I can't get my head around, the fact that just this little thing just makes the whole phone just look much more premium. The uniform bezels just make it look like they've added that extra bit of effort into it just to make it look uniform everywhere. Like, as you guys can see, the uniform bezels just make it just a little bit better looking than the previous S22, S23, stuff like that. And it just adds that little finishing touch, refining the whole model in itself. Now, talking about the 2600 nits of peak brightness, like I said, it's really bright, matching the Ultra phones. This is one of the brightest displays in any smartphones, like in the whole like market and everything. And it's a real good quality panel as well. Like, in the sun, you'll be able to see the panel completely fine when browsing social media, watching YouTube videos and everything like that. And it also gets impressively dim as well. So if you're somebody who doom scrolls before you go to bed to get yourself to sleep, then yeah, you have a minimum brightness so your eyes don't die while you're trying to get yourself to sleep. And then the overall quality of the panel, we've got Samsung's color reproduction and everything. It's really good. You also OLED panel as well, Samsung Super AMOLED panel. Overall, the display is really, really good. Like I said before, ultrasonic fingerprint scanner as well on the phone, and we also have a small little hole punch at the top for the front-facing camera. Overall, a really good looking display. Much better than the iPhone, even the Pro iPhone. Here in the UK, we get a different processor from other phones in the world. The Exynos processor. It's basically the equivalent of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. And before you guys be like, yep, it's trash, probably not even worth buying, hear me out. Samsung really cooked with the Exynos processor this year. It is essentially the equivalent of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 but Exynos, and to be honest, it's been performing very well both in terms of power and efficiency. Everything that I've been doing on the phone has been smooth and I haven't had any crashes, and battery life has also been good when using the always on display with the showing wallpaper feature on. Talking about the battery, we have a 4000 mAh battery. in the space of phones, I guess it's not the biggest anymore, but 4000 milliamp hours is still very, very respectable. Like back in the day, the Note 9 came out with a 4000 milliamp hour battery and everybody was like, that is the craziest battery we've ever seen in a phone. It comfortably lasts me more than a day. Like I can end the day at around 20 to 30% and still go on to the next day and maybe go midday before I have to charge it again. 25 watt fast charging, wireless charging, reverse wireless charging. But quick tip, I would suggest just using wired charging. Wireless charging just heats up your phone. It's a whole mess in itself. Maybe I'll make another video. Make sure to let me know in the comments if you want to see that. But yeah, surprisingly, like it's really impressive, the Exynos processor, like in terms of performance. Like even when I play heavy games like Call of Duty Mobile at max settings, the processor never like slows down and be like, hold on, give me a breath. It keeps going. So yeah, after all the surprisingly bad years of Exynos, like Samsung trying and trying and trying, somehow they were like, nah, we're gonna cook with this one. And yeah, it worked. But Samsung, I would rather have the Snapdragon variation. Like, can we have that instead, please? Thank you. The cameras on the S24 have also been a really, really nice thing to test over my last couple of months of using the phone. I am somebody who uses the camera on my phone a lot, from taking pictures and videos from my social media. Like I upload 3 times on TikTok every single day. And also I'm the main cameraman for my family and friends. So having a good camera is really, really important to me. And the S24 did not disappoint at all. I'm going to be showing you guys some examples, but we do have a 50 megapixel main as well as a 3x telephoto and an ultra wide. All lenses are really, really good. However, I enjoy using the normal lens the most. Like Samsung's computational photography has got much better over the recent years, and it shows with things like HDR. There's this new feature, I don't know if it's like new, but it's new to me, like I've never tested it before. New Super HDR. Basically, Samsung is just really good now with capturing like the HDR information. Like if there's like a light here, it will make that brighter than a dark scene down here, right? So the gallery app actually really well represents the Super HDR and all the bright here, dark here, and it's really, really good. Like it's just adding a whole new experience when viewing your photos back after you've taken them. Really underrated. Apple should definitely, Apple do have this, but not on the same like level as Samsung. Colors of course are a bit on the saturated side, but it is still reasonable. Within the normal camera app, you won't be disappointed at all. Like sharpness, color, like before Samsung phones used to just outblow everything. They'd be like, let's just pump everything up to the max. Now they brought it down a little bit, so it's a bit more natural, a bit more normal looking. So yeah, honestly, the normal camera app photos are really good. Video quality has also improved significantly compared to older Samsung generation phones, and it is catching up to the iPhone. I wouldn't say it's there near the iPhone. Right now I'm recording on the iPhone 13 because I tried recording on the S24. It crashed a couple times. So they definitely do have some more refining to do in terms of video. That's not to say the video is bad, but to catch up and get to the same level as its main competition, the iPhone, that's what I would say. It just needs to be refined a little bit more. However, it's not all good. Now, there's this new thing I like to add to my reviews, which is like how well the cameras work in social media apps. Because I'm a teenager, I use social media a lot, right? So also I said just before, I record like 3 videos on TikTok per day. So I need to have a good camera and good optimized. Taking photos in social media apps is great. Like it will work with the camera, it will do everything. But the moment you start taking videos, which is the main thing I do, it starts to crumble. Like saturation just goes down, processing goes down. Apps really need to just take the time and just cook and make specific versions for at least the flagship Samsung phones. They're the most popular Android flagship phones. But yeah, if you're somebody who uses a lot of social media, you might be a little disappointed in the video quality within the apps. However, photo quality is really good. Like I have to add that in my reviews now. Like I'm young, you're maybe young, you know, you never know me. We're all like, there's teenagers that buy new phones, right? And a lot of teenagers use social media. And I don't see any reviewers talk about how the cameras perform within the social media apps, because I don't know why. The whole lighting just went dark as I said that. Pathetic fallacy. But yeah, honestly, the S24 camera is really good within the camera app. You can always just take the long route of taking it in the camera app, editing it, and then putting it on social media. But if you're somebody like me who would just have the inconvenience of editing it within the actual app and posting it, then yeah, it's a bit disappointing. So yeah, that's everything covered. Should you buy the Galaxy S24? I would 100% say yeah. I actually sometimes like think I'm using the S24 Ultra right now, right? Like it's just behind the camera here. I'm using the S24 Ultra right now. Like I just switched from the S24 like a couple days ago because I'm filming a day in the life with this phone. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see that. But yeah, I do miss using that smaller phone because it's more comfortable to hold. It's just more compact. And it has everything that this phone has except for like the 5x lens, bigger screen, like S Pen and stuff. But yeah, the Galaxy S24 is a really impressive phone. If you are looking to buy it, I would definitely would. But yeah, that's all from me. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.